So as many of you know, we have a shortage of what is called PPE right now, personal protective equipment. This includes things like masks and gloves, face shields, goggles, other equipment that healthcare professionals need to safely treat people with coronavirus without themselves being at risk of the disease and to try to minimize the possibility of spreading it to other people. For weeks now, Donald Trump has been very transparently blaming the previous administration. That's code for Barack Obama for the shortage. It's been panic at the state level for hospitals trying to get more PPE. Right now, even most of the coronavirus tests require the administrator to wear PPE. Hopefully that will change soon. We're seeing some new rapid self-swab tests come to market, as Trump says, including one from Abbott, which will start to be available maybe as early as this week, if they're telling the truth. But we're really short on PPE because it's required for tests and for many other reasons. Friends of mine I have two friends who are ER doctors here in Boston, work for different hospital administrators, and both were told they will have one mask to use all day. Normally you'd have a face shield and you change the mask between patients and put the face shield over it. They will have one mask for the entire day. Well, it has now been revealed that Donald Trump sent a ton of PPE to China, nearly 18 tons of supplies in February, but is now blaming the previous administration for the shortage. Check it out. Here's Trump talking about the old system inherited from Barack Obama.
This administration, inherited an obsolete, broken, old system that wasn't meant for this. We discarded that system, and we now have a new system that can do millions of people as you need them. But we had to get rid of a broken old system that didn't work. It worked only on a very limited basis. And we're very proud of what we've done. It's incredible what we've done. And this system will now serve for the future, for future problems. Hopefully you don't have a problem like this, but something will come up. We have now a great system, and it's almost fully in gear, but it's able to test millions of people. But we inherited a broken, old, frankly, a terrible system. We fixed it, and we've done a great job. And we haven't been given the credit that we deserve. That I can tell you.
Well, it turns out that a lot of what we are now experiencing is Trump's own doing. So aside from, we're in year 4 of Trump's presidency, Obama gave Trump the pandemic response playbook. The State Department admitted back on February 7th that they facilitated the transportation of 18 tons of medical supplies to Chinese people, including masks, gowns, gauze, respirators, and other vital materials. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo tweeted a video of a plane being unloaded that was filled with our stuff back on February 7th. We gave them the stuff. We sent them the masks, gowns, and all of the stuff we are now short on, which Trump is making states compete over. So it's actually an even more deranged situation than we believed, which was already, by the way, very, very deranged. Trump didn't take the threat seriously here, called it the Chinese virus, blames China. Now we have no masks. We're short on all of the stuff that Trump is failing to secure for our state governors. And now we find out he sent a whole bunch of it to China. These last 6 or now closer to 8 weeks have been the biggest failure of the Trump presidency. And we may end up, I hope not, we may end up with a death toll that is not just 10 times higher, but maybe 50 times higher than it needed to be because of failure after embarrassing failure by Donald Trump. Now, let me say something else, because I know we're going to have a bunch of people jump in and attack me over this. I want to be really clear. This is not me doing some hyper nationalist argument about Trump should only worry about Americans and not Chinese people. That's not the issue here. The issues here are multiple. First, the fact that Trump has and continues to blame the previous administration for things that were his own decisions that caused the problems. That's tragic. It's disgusting. And I fear that it is working, actually, with a lot of his followers, saying this was actually Obama's fault. Number two, the fact that Trump was sending this stuff to China on February 7th But only in early March did he start taking seriously the procuring of masks and PPE for our hospitals. Tells us that for a full month, from early February to early March, Trump knew we were low in the stockpile because he sent a bunch of the stockpile to China. But he didn't do a damn thing about starting to replace it for our hospitals until March. So again, the criticism is not how dare we help China. That's not the critique. The critique is clearly this is not Obama's fault. But more importantly, Trump had a signal on February 7th or earlier, at minimum, that we need to replenish our own supply of masks and other PPE. And he didn't do it. And now it's become a scramble that continues to be a scramble as we are now days from entering April. It's incompetence at every turn. It's not about we should never help China. It's about don't blame Obama for your mistake. And also don't act like nobody could have foreseen this when you knew you depleted your own stockpile on February 7th. And then we've got press conferences still happening on like March 25th where he's saying we're trying to get masks. We're trying to get this stuff. Disgusting. Don't fall for it.